This game has a great opening. Off the bat, you see the unique art style, the princess getting kidnapped, and Mario having to go save her. It's both new yet familiar to the Mario series. Even in its toddler stages, aka the Super Nintendo, the idea to branch out with the Mario series wasn't too common at all. 2 years before this game was released, Hotel Mario was birthed to a resounding...
Yeah, even at the mere mention of it, people start rioting. Needless to say, it seems like Mario was forever destined to stay within the platforming genre.
Spin-offs have always existed, but they were puzzle games and very similar to one another. Aside from the one with the go-karts, there had yet to be a game that gave Mario a new adventure. And then Square, known as Squaresoft at the time, decided they were going to impregnate everyone with the unthinkable.
A child?
Square was pumping out games for the Super Nintendo unlike how my brain pumps serotonin. Constantly just making some of the best role-playing games for the system. So when they approached Nintendo to make a game using Mario, it was of course a no-brainer. Thus, Super Mario RPG: The Legend of the Seven Stars was born, a game with the subtitle nobody really acknowledges.
And an 8-year-old Tom would receive it one day for Christmas and loved the absolute shit out of it. While I do love the classic Mario titles, I gotta admit, I also like when characters are put in unfamiliar situations. So making a Mario game that wasn't a platformer really blew my mind, and doctors have not been able to put it back together since. It explains a lot.
The RPG in the title isn't just a temp title that stuck throughout development. It was done to signify that this wasn't going to be a normal Mario game, and not normal it was. I mean, just look at this. You think someone would look at this and see Mario right away? He's there. Well, who the fuck's that? You got cloud people and talking puppets and wizard frogs, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Because while Super Mario RPG is a different kind of Mario game, it does root itself within normal Mario tropes.
You can't just throw seasoned players into something new without easing them into it. I would know. I once sent Fonder off to go get me a gallon of milk, something he's never done before, and 10 months later, I still haven't heard from him. Hello?
The milk started fighting back!
The opening is pretty simple. You traverse through Bowser's castle to save a recently deceased kidnapped princess, and learn along the way that you and the enemies take turns beating each other up. It's like a normal fight!
Okay, now it's your turn to hit me, but remember, you can't hit me too hard, because I have 60 defense.
This is where the 3 magical letters RPG comes in. It's a role-playing game, and it requires some strategy when you fight enemies. Although not too much strategy, because it is still a Mario game after all. The point of the Mario games is to be accessible to almost everybody, including you, Martin. Everybody say hi to Martin. While a battling system might be foreign for newcomers to the genre, the fight lays out the controls for you and uses them as sub-menus. The game is also quick to teach you early on how to defend yourself and rack up more damage in a fight, and when you leave that first area, you are introduced to a new weapon you can use. The game is very good at showing you the ropes, so it becomes way easier when you have to defeat...
Wait, who's the villain of this game again?
It is I, the haunted cursed sword of timeless entity, and I will be the one who will...
What? I was hungry.
A giant f***ing sword falls from the sky and crashes into Bowser's castle. He works for a guy named Smithy, and to be honest, that sounds less like a villain's name and more like my coworker at the office. Smithy's been the one creating all these enemies flooding the Mushroom Kingdom, and since the bridge to Bowser's castle was utterly destroyed, you have to make your way throughout the entirety of the Mushroom Kingdom in order to stop him, so you can rebuild Star Road with all the star pieces.
It's kind of like when the highway exploded, so in order to get to my favorite restaurant right there, I had to go all the way around. It took 4 weeks. But with the main villain not being Bowser this time, the game was able to take new bold directions with its gameplay and story.
For example, Bowser not being the main villain this time meant that he could be part of the team. Once you rescue Princess Peach from a very odd, weird little man, she also becomes part of your team. This was probably the first and really only time both Princess Peach and Bowser were working together on the same team. Imagine being in 1996 and seeing this game allow you to fight alongside your wannabe girlfriend and a giant turtle monster. I can't, because I played this game in 2009 instead.
Some people were thinking about the recession. I was thinking about how cool the weapons and abilities were.
For a game so distinctly different from the mainline games, the charm of Mario is still there. The game doesn't really take itself seriously and allows itself to get creative with the different attacks you can use. Crashing cymbals, throwing chain chops, and kicking shells, all of it having a rhythm and satisfying feel to them when you use them properly. This game introduces action commands into the series, and I mean it when I say that this is probably the reason why all the Mario RPGs are so fun. I mean, just listen to when you nail the command. It's fun, damn it!
The flashiness and rhythm of it all made it super easy for newcomers of the genre to just get involved. Everything is laid out to you perfectly, and instructions are as clear as day, so it makes it easier to play.
The game has a great balance of teaching you while playing. You will never forget how to do an attack because you get those 4 floating letters surrounding your person every time you attack.
No, get away!
It provides both ease of use and charm to the overall gameplay. And listen, the charm does not end there. It ends here, and right now we're here. Keep with the program, Jeremy. The writing of the game is definitely more on the comedic side. Bowser doesn't want to look like a wimp. Toad forgot his bazooka. This happens. There's a chance we're going to see this in high definition soon. And the game loves to parody itself. It's a role-playing game, but it often makes fun of the genre itself throughout the entire adventure, while still somehow being very faithful.
And I think that's why it's remembered so fondly. The game knows it's not the hardest of RPGs, that's why it leans more into the fun of things, while also providing new gameplay that both veterans and newcomers will just have a great time with.
Not to mention new characters that bring more of a fantasy element into the world of Mario. There's Mallow, a mage-like cloud prince who uses thunder to attack his foes, and Geno, a puppet brought to life to help Mario and the gang gather the star pieces that fell from Star Hill. You see, when the giant f***ing sword crashed through Bowser's castle, it broke apart Star Road, the gateway to granting people their wishes. So Geno, also known as is in charge of gluing these stars back together and saving Star Road.
And it's because of Geno, aka that the internet just goes crazy for this game. Like, really crazy.
I don't know what it is, but the idea of your favorite action figure coming to life to stop evil is just so cool, man. He's a very unique character in the universe of Mario, and so many people just wanted more of him. For a lot of people, he was a big contender for Smash, but it just seems like Nintendo and Square never wanted to acknowledge him.
I think people forgot how bad the relationship between the two companies actually got right after this game release. The title Mario RPG and everything within it couldn't really be used without Square's permission since, well, they owned it.
Nintendo might have published this and own all the rights to their characters, but anything created by Square for this game was owned by Square. Which sucks because the game gave us so much unique art, unique characters, some of the best music this series will ever see. Yoko Shimomura is a goddess for making video game music, and I truly believe she was able to capture both fantasy and Mario within every track of this game. It's a soundtrack that lives rent-free in my head, and I often reserve the use for it for special occasions because it's just so special to me. Plus, her music is responsible for one of the better Newgrounds songs.
I'm not gonna sing it. You can't make me. Alright, fine.
Super. The game is just such a love letter to both fans of Mario and RPGs. Once you actually beat Smithy and get all the star fragments back, everyone gets their happy ending, and even Luigi makes an appearance during the final parade. Super Mario RPG is what happens when the stars align. At the time, Nintendo was more willing to experiment with Mario, and it gave us something we would never see again for such a long time. This title became such a cult classic within gaming that it's hard not to see its influence within later titles. It seems like for the longest time, Nintendo wanted nothing to do with this game. They simply wanted it to vanish because another company who they weren't really on good terms with had a huge role in making it.
So imagine how it must have felt like when the remake was announced on that fateful day. It's like your dad acknowledging something that you like and saying, yeah, I like it too. For me personally, it's this game right here that I can return to if I ever need a quick fill for the weekend. And I'm more than excited for this game right here to be played by so many more people. You know you can just email me like a normal person, right?